There is a place at the very bottom of the world, where the land gives its final ragged sigh before surrendering to the sea. Cape Horn. It is not merely a point on a map. It is a legend, a trial, and for many a final resting place. More than 800 ships and over 10,000 souls have been lost in these waters, earning it the grim title of the Graveyard of Ships. The allure of Cape Horn is tied to its formidable reputation, once the ultimate test of a sailor's skill and courage. But why is this particular stretch of water so infamous? The answer lies in a unique and brutal combination of geography, climate, and oceanography. Understanding this place is to understand the immense power of our planet and the remarkable resilience of those who have dared to face it. Even today, with all our technological advancements, the name Cape Horn sends a shiver down the spine of the most experienced mariner. The winds still howl with unimaginable force, the waves rise to monstrous heights, and icebergs drift silently like ghosts in the fog. It teaches us that no matter how much we think we have conquered the natural world, there are still corners of the earth where we are merely small, vulnerable visitors. This journey into the heart of Cape Horn's treacherous waters is more than a geographical exploration. It is a voyage back in time. We will explore the history of those who braved this passage and the reasons why, even now, ships will go to extraordinary lengths to avoid it. We will hear the echoes of the past, the creaking of timber, the roar of the wind, and the desperate cries of sailors. It is a story of nature's awesome power and humanity's relentless spirit. Let us begin our exploration of this wild and unforgiving frontier, the legendary and feared Cape Horn. Cape Horn is located at the southernmost tip of South America, marking the northern boundary of the Drake Passage. This geographical position is precisely what makes it so dangerous, with no landmass to block the flow of water or wind. The vast Southern Ocean circles the globe unimpeded, creating the immense Antarctic circumpolar current. This mighty current is suddenly squeezed through the relatively narrow gap of the Drake Passage, accelerating the water and creating incredibly strong currents. The ocean floor rises dramatically, forcing deep waves upwards, becoming steeper and more dangerous. The coastline is a jagged maze of islands, fjords, and hidden rocks, making navigation treacherous. Before modern GPS, navigating these waters was a nightmare, with inaccurate charts and poor visibility. The proximity to Antarctica introduces another grave danger: icebergs, often shrouded in fog or hidden in waves. The combination of powerful currents, shallowing seabeds, a treacherous coastline, and drifting ice makes this region uniquely hazardous. The tragic story of the Titanic is a famous example of the danger of icebergs, but in the waters off Cape Horn, this is a constant threat. This region remains a stark reminder of nature's untamed power. The geographical dangers of Cape Horn are magnified by its extreme weather, lying in the furious 50s. The westerlies circle the globe with ferocious intensity, gathering speed over open ocean. When funneled through the Drake Passage, these winds result in near-constant gales and hurricane-force storms. Waves of 15 meters are common, and waves exceeding 30 meters have been recorded. The weather here is notoriously unpredictable, changing with frightening speed. Low-pressure systems intensify as they approach the Andes, unleashing their full fury upon the Drake Passage. Sailors can find themselves caught in a maelstrom of freezing rain, sleet, and snow. The air temperature hovers just above freezing, making hypothermia a constant threat. The constant spray of freezing saltwater coats everything in ice, making decks treacherous. Surviving Cape Horn is about enduring a physical and psychological assault from brutal weather. It is a place where nature's authority is absolute. For centuries, rounding Cape Horn was a critical part of global trade routes. The age of sail saw countless wooden vessels attempt the passage, vulnerable to the Horn's fury. The journey westward was especially dreaded, fighting inch by inch against head-on gales and currents. Crews were exhausted, malnourished, and suffering from the biting cold. Masts could snap, sails could be shredded, and the rudder could be smashed, leaving the ship helpless. The list of shipwrecks around Cape Horn is long and tragic. The British naval vessel HMS Wager was wrecked after failing to round the Horn. The story of its survivors became legendary. The opening of the Panama Canal marked the end for the Cape Horn route as a major commercial highway. Steamships could now take a safer, faster, and more economical path. The great sailing ships disappeared, but the Horn's fearsome legend lived on. It remains a symbol of ultimate adventure and a pilgrimage site for sailors. The story of Cape Horn is best told through the experiences of those who sailed it. One famous account comes from the HMS Beagle, carrying a young Charles Darwin. He described waves so large they blotted out the horizon, giving a vivid picture of the Horn's relentless nature. Another tale is that of the American clipper ship, the Flying Cloud, which set a speed record despite a ferocious storm. Their incredible seamanship and determination saw them through. But for every story of survival, there are countless tales of loss. The Danish training ship, the Copenhagen, vanished without a trace, presumed lost off Cape Horn. Its disappearance remains one of the greatest maritime mysteries. These personal accounts paint a picture far more vivid than any meteorological data. They speak of the psychological toll and the camaraderie forged in shared hardship. These voices from the deep are a crucial part of the Cape Horn legend. They remind us that behind the history and the science, there are individual human beings who face the ultimate challenge. Whether they succeeded or failed, they became part of the story of this wild and terrible place. The Drake Passage defines the Cape Horn experience, where the Atlantic, Pacific and Southern Oceans converge. The Antarctic circumpolar current flows eastward at a formidable rate, a relentless adversary for sailing ships. The current's interaction with the complex underwater topography creates unpredictable eddies and whirlpools. The weather in the Drake Passage is famously awful, earning it the nickname, the Drake Shake. Low-pressure systems sweep across the passage with terrifying regularity. These storms bring hurricane-force winds, known as williwaws, which can capsize a vessel. Visibility is often poor, with thick fog, driving rain, and heavy snow. The combination of high winds and strong currents whips up the sea into a state of constant agitation. For modern mariners, the Drake Passage remains a profound challenge. The passage tests the limits of vessel design and the skill of the crew. It is an unforgiving gauntlet that demands respect from all who dare to enter it. Today, most commercial shipping avoids Cape Horn, but for those who must travel these waters, modern technology has improved safety. Satellite weather forecasting allows captains to plan their route to avoid the worst of the weather. Navigation has been revolutionized with GPS technology, providing pinpoint accuracy. Advanced radar systems detect other vessels and icebergs through thick fog and darkness. Ship design and construction have made enormous strides, with modern vessels built to withstand incredible stresses. Stabilizer systems reduce the violent rolling motion of the ship. Powerful engines mean ships are no longer at the mercy of the wind and currents. Despite these technological aids, the ancient fears of Cape Horn have not been entirely erased. Technology can fail, and no amount of technology can completely tame the raw power of a rogue wave. Mariners who sail these waters today do so with a healthy dose of humility. They know that technology is a tool, not a guarantee of safety. The fundamental respect for the power of the ocean remains as relevant today as it was in the age of sail. The single greatest reason why modern ships steer clear of Cape Horn is the Panama Canal. Opened in 1914, it provided a shortcut, a path of relative peace and safety. The canal cut the journey by nearly 13,000 kilometers and saved weeks of travel time. The economic benefits were immediate, with huge savings in fuel and operational costs. The canal offered a predictable, reliable and insurable alternative to the Cape Horn route. The waters of the Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Panama are tropical and generally calm. The passage is a controlled, engineered process, the complete opposite of rounding the Horn. The success and expansion of the Panama Canal have ensured that Cape Horn remains largely off the map for mainstream commercial traffic. While the Horn will always hold its place in history and legend, its role as a necessary evil of maritime trade has been relegated to the past. The Panama Canal stands as a monumental achievement of engineering. It is a testament to humanity's ability to reshape geography, to create safer and more efficient pathways for connection and commerce. In the modern world, Cape Horn is no longer a vital artery of global trade, bypassed by progress. Yet, its legend endures, perhaps stronger than ever, as a symbol of ultimate adventure. For competitive ocean racers, rounding Cape Horn is still the Mount Everest of sailing. The region has also become a unique tourist destination, with cruise ships carrying adventurous travelers. These voyages offer a glimpse into the wild beauty and raw power of the region. Passengers can witness the dramatic landscapes and abundant wildlife. The future outlook for this region is one of preservation and respect. The Chilean government has designated the area as a national park. Scientific research continues to be a major activity, vital for understanding global climate change. Cape Horn will forever remain a powerful symbol in our collective imagination. It represents the boundary between the known and the unknown. The stories of the sailors who braved its waters are timeless tales of human struggle and resilience. The legend of Cape Horn will never be tamed.